This season is about slowing the world down long enough to understand how it shapes us. About asking better questions. About not just reacting, but understanding. Today, we're talking about something that decides who lives, who heals, and who gets left behind. Clinical trials. Science through a patient's eyes. Because in medicine, evidence decides everything. And when it comes to medicine, the stakes are life and death. I'm Momo. And this is our Season 1 finale. Let's get into it, facts first, feelings later.
Mind's on the move and the world's in my hand. Momo's got the stories that you gotta understand. From trends to the news, we're keeping it tight. Mind over Momo, we're learning it right.
Stay sharp, stay bold, let your mind be free. Momo's got the scoop for the next big key. Hit like, hit sub, let the good vibes grow. Mind over Momo, now you're in the know. Mind over Momo.
When you take medicine, do you ever ask how it got there? Who tested it? Who volunteered? Who took the risk so you could take the pill? That's what today is about. The goal of this episode is simple: to understand how clinical trials were built, to understand the mistakes, to understand the ethics, and to understand why we say we believe in science, but science must also believe in people. When you study history, you start to see how medicine evolves. Progress, power, protection. Sometimes all three. Sometimes not. Let's start basic. A clinical trial is a study. It tests a new medicine, device, or treatment in real people. Step 1, lab research. Step 2, animal studies. Step 3, humans. Humans like you. Humans like me. Clinical trials happen in phases. Phase 1, is it safe? Phase 2, does it work? Phase 3, does it work better than what we already have? Phase 4, what happens long term? Simple structure. Clear steps. But here's the real question. How did we decide those rules? There was a time when clinical trials didn't have rules. No consent forms. No ethics boards. No oversight. And when there are no rules, people get hurt. During World War II, Nazi doctors performed brutal experiments on prisoners in concentration camps. No consent. No safety. No humanity. After the war, the world said, never again. The Nuremberg trials exposed those crimes. And from that came something powerful, the Nuremberg Code. 10 rules. Voluntary consent is essential. Experiments must avoid unnecessary suffering. Science must protect people. That was the turning point. Because ethical science doesn't happen automatically. It has to be designed, protected, enforced. Now let's talk about something closer to home. In 1951, a woman named Henrietta Lacks went to the hospital. She was a black woman in Baltimore. She had cervical cancer. Doctors took her cells without her permission. They didn't ask. They didn't explain. They didn't tell her family. But those cells, they didn't die. They kept growing. They became the first immortal human cell line, HeLa cells. They helped develop vaccines. They helped study cancer. They helped advance science in ways we still benefit from today. But here's the tension. Science advanced, but trust was broken. Medical progress can come at the cost of human dignity. Medicine, race, power, history. When you learn this history, you start to understand why trust matters. And Henrietta wasn't the only example. For 40 years, The US government studied black men with syphilis in the Tuskegee study. They were told they were getting treatment. They were not. Even after penicillin was discovered, treatment was withheld. That wasn't science. That was abuse. And when trust breaks in medicine, it takes generations to rebuild. So now when someone says, "Why don't people trust clinical trials?" You look at the history. You examine the evidence. And you realize accountability shapes outcomes. Now here's the shift. Today, clinical trials have layers of protection. Informed consent, independent ethics review boards, data safety monitoring committees, strict inclusion criteria, transparency requirements. You can leave a trial at any time. You must be told the risks. You must understand what you're signing. Is it perfect? No. Is it better? Yes. Because science adapts when it's challenged. And progress only counts if people are protected. Now I want you to imagine something. You're sick. Not just a cold. Something serious. Maybe cancer. Maybe an autoimmune disease. Maybe something rare. Your doctor says, there's a clinical trial. What do you feel? Hope? Fear? Confusion? All of it? Clinical trials aren't just data points. They're people. Parents. Teenagers. Grandparents. People who volunteer not knowing if they'll get the new drug or the placebo. People who sign up because someone has to. Because if no one volunteers, there is no progress. Medical breakthroughs depend on human courage. Here's something most people don't think about. If trials only include one type of person, the results won't work for everyone. Different bodies respond differently. Age matters. Race can matter. Gender matters. Genetics matter. Good science requires representation. Representation isn't political. It's scientific. If we want medicine that works for everyone, we have to test it in everyone. People say, trust the science. And I do. But trust doesn't mean blind. It means informed, accountable, ethical. Believing in science means believing in consent. Believing in science means protecting patients. Believing in science means learning from history. Strong ethics create strong evidence. And we are responsible for keeping those standards high. You're 16, or 17, or 18. You might think this doesn't affect you. It does. Vaccines, mental health meds, sports injury treatments, birth control, cancer therapy. Every one of those went through a clinical trial. Everyone. And one day, you might be the researcher, the regulator, the volunteer, the patient, the decision maker. When you understand how medicine is built, you start to see your place in it. This whole season we talked about systems, borders, bosses, belonging, information, money, and now medicine. And what did we learn? That progress without ethics is dangerous. That evidence must be earned. That human dignity must come first. If safeguards fail, people suffer. But when science is ethical, people heal. This is the season 1 finale. And I'm proud of you. You didn't just scroll. You stayed. You listened. You thought. That matters. In season 2, we go deeper. More myths. More systems. More truth. Because once you understand how the system works, you start asking better questions. I'm Momo. And this is Mind Over Momo. If this episode made you think, even a little, like the video. If it challenged you, comment your take. And if you're ready to understand the world instead of just reacting to it, subscribe. Join Momo Nation. Because medical progress depends on informed minds. And this community. We think before we follow. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in season 2.
Mind's on the move and the world's in my hand. Momo's got the stories that you gotta understand. From trends to the news, we're keeping it tight. Mind over Momo, we're learning it right.
Stay sharp, stay bold, let your mind be free. Momo's got the scoop for the next big key. Hit like, hit sub, let the good vibes grow. Mind over Momo, now you're in the know.